on 9 News Mornings. The latest developments in Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Sirens sounded across Kyiv as explosions lit up the night sky. This morning, President Biden is imposing harsh sanctions on Russia. The worldwide fallout and the economic impact here at home. And goodbye snow, goodbye cold. This weekend we get some relief from sub-zero temperatures. 9 News Morning starts now.
Oh, we like that news. We're starting off with a live look at Denver this morning. Another chilly morning to end a very, very cold week, but we will finally see that warm up into the weekend and into next week too. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Natasha, Corey, and Gary with you on this Friday morning. Thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness. I feel like I haven't thawed out all week. Like I've just literally been cold the whole time.
It's been a brutally cold week, that's for sure. So Ed, we got double reason to celebrate the weekend. One, because of the weather. Two, because it's the weekend.
Cold enough for you?
Yeah.
Too
right?
cold.
Yeah. We are really going to warm it up. So we had a work week where it was cold and snowy, but now comes the weekend and comes the warmer weather. Let's take a look at what we've got going on right now. 6 degrees. So yes, we're still chilly out there. It is still cold. And you can see the temperatures around the state are cold as well. 2 below at Meeker right now, 8 below at Lyman. Sydney is 12 below. Those are right off the thermometer. You put the wind chill in there, a little bit colder than that. Sydney at 27 below. Lyman feels like 23 below at this hour. We have a little disturbance that's just going to move across, maybe a couple of scattered snow showers later on. This is going to be a brief hit. Not everybody's going to see one, and it moves out quickly. And then Saturday, we have sunshine pretty much border to border as we begin the weekend. So today, 28 degrees, maybe a late snow shower. Not a big deal here. 40 degrees tomorrow with sunny skies. That'll feel good. But take a look at this. Sunday, 58 degrees with the sunny skies. And then Monday, pretty much more of the same. And then your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they're all in the 60s.
And some more good news this morning is this is the first morning that we haven't had fresh snow on the ground to interrupt our morning commute since Monday morning. So we do have, so far, mostly looking okay out there on the roads. This is I-25 at Park Avenue, where both directions of I-25 moving pretty smoothly, and a whole lot of green here on this Friday morning. And again, things looking pretty okay without that fresh snowfall. But where we do have that fresh snowfall, up into the mountains. So if you're doing that ski traffic, things looking okay as you're heading on up to Winter Park on Berthoud Pass, Loveland Ski Area, as well as Vail Ski Area. Everything looking okay right now at this point as you're heading on up on I-70, 285, Highway 40. Things looking okay at this point. Meantime, if you're heading out to DIA, you've got a Friday morning flight. South Security, it's a little bit long, so you might want to give yourself some extra time, looking at about a half-hour wait through that South Security. But if you're using the Bridge Security, it's about a 14-minute wait at this point.
Thank you for the update. It is day 2 of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Ukraine's president says at least 130 people have been killed and hundreds more are hurt. Overnight, an apartment building in Kyiv sustained heavy damage. New video overnight from the Ukraine State Emergency Service shows images from the scene as you can see crews work to get a fire at the building under control. Officials say the 9-story building was hit by debris after an aircraft was shot down over the capital city. And those numbers of those who've died already and those who are injured are just expected to rise. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington, where President Biden is one of the world leaders condemning Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Good morning, Natasha. This morning, President Biden has a virtual meeting with NATO leaders to discuss the situation in Ukraine and possible new sanctions against Russia. Residents of Kyiv waking up to sounds of war and sights of devastation in other areas of Ukraine.
Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
President Biden imposing harsh new sanctions. They include cutting off Russia's largest banks and companies from Western financial markets and restricting exports.
This is going to impose severe cost on the Russian economy, both immediately and over time.
Some critics say the president should have gone even further.
Ratchet the sanctions all the way up as far as you can.
There's a bipartisan push for Russia to be barred from SWIFT, the secure system that connects banks in more than 200 countries. The administration says right now European allies are not willing to take that step.
They are profound sanctions. Let's have a conversation in another month or so to see if they're working.
As the impact of this is felt, as the consequences of what President Putin done is felt, including in Russia, that will have an impact.
The Russian attacks igniting worldwide protest, and Moscow chanting crowds held anti-war signs. Biden stand with Ukraine! Biden stand with Ukraine! In Washington, D.C., there are calls for a stronger response from the administration. Many praying for those fleeing for their safety.
I just can't believe someone could be so evil.
During an unclassified briefing, U.S. military leaders described the current phase of Russia's military operation as the tip of the spear, warning of more violence and casualties to come. The U.S. is deploying 7,000 troops to Germany to support NATO allies. President Biden again stressed that no U.S. forces are being sent directly into Ukraine. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson, 9 News.
A crowd rallied outside of the Colorado State Capitol building yesterday, standing with Ukraine and condemning Russian aggression. One man there just moved to Colorado 6 years ago from Ukraine. He told us he has a lot of family members who still live there, including his mom and sister.
We are all deeply concerned and worried about our families, about relatives in Ukraine, and we would like to be sure that the whole world knows about that.
Yeah, at one point, Governor Polis came out of the Capitol and spoke to the crowd. He said that he supports the group and the people of Ukraine.
Here in Colorado, we could feel the impact of the conflict. Russia is a major supplier of natural gas and oil, and Ukraine is an important country for transporting it. Wholesalers could also see higher prices than they already are, impacting our price at the pump. Both countries are also top producers of wheat. We talked to an economics professor at MSU Denver. He says a disruption in production could mean higher demand on our wheat producers.
Because the world supply of wheat is disrupted by this war, the price of wheat temporarily is going to go up. Our wheat producers will probably find different destinations to sell the wheat to.
Russia and Ukraine make up a quarter of the world's wheat exports. You can follow all the latest developments on what's going on in Ukraine on our 9 News app. It is free to download in the Apple Store or Google Play.
The attorneys for Barry Morphew want a judge to dismiss the murder charges connecting him to his wife's disappearance. Yesterday in court, they claimed prosecutors have mismanaged the case and missed the judge's deadlines. Prosecutors haven't shared witness lists that were due this month, and the judge hasn't ruled on the motion to dismiss the case. Jury selection is scheduled to start on April 28th. Fremont County plans to send out more than 1,000 jury summons over the next month. Suzanne Morphew has been missing since Mother's Day 2020. Barry was arrested and charged a year later. Suzanne's body has never been found. NBC News has new details in this case, and tonight on Dateline, they'll have an exclusive interview with Suzanne's sister-in-law and new body cam video from the day she went missing. That airs tonight at 9 o'clock on 9 News.
One thing you want to know about the weather today, a little moderation in the temperatures, but a warm up tomorrow. So 20s and a few 30s along the Front Range with increasing clouds, maybe a late day snow shower. Then on Saturday, the sunshine returns and we get to around 40 degrees right here in Denver.
And one thing about the traffic, well, no thing. Everything looking A-OK so far out there on the roads on this Friday morning. Nice not waking up to some fresh snowfall. That is, of course, helping things out on the roads, at least so far.
And the base of I-70 to Floyd Hill, which is always a nightmare, is about to go under a 5-year reconstruction project. It's part of the president's infrastructure plan that Congress passed. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was there yesterday. Says he hopes the project will lead to an easier drive in that area.
My hope is that the kinds of congestion we've seen in recent months and years here are not in the future for this part of I-70. Now, there's a relationship between supply and demand, and as the director of CDOT has said, you can't always build your way out of congestion. But if we have the right kind of roadways and the right kind of alternatives, then we're going to have less congestion and more convenient trip times.
That stretch is the same area where truck driver Rohel Aguilera Maderos drove in 2019, making a series of bad decisions before losing his brakes and crashing his truck into stopped traffic in the metro area. 4 people were killed in that crash.